Determinants, there is another way to find the inverse of a matrix other than the augmented matrix that we have been using in the last lesson. So I know that you will much prefer this because it's less rigorous and just obviously more efficient. So this method, though, is going to involve us first finding the determinant of a matrix, which merely is just a representative number of any square matrix. We specifically are only going to focus on a 2x2 and a 3x3 matrix. So let us start by analyzing how to find the determinant, let's call it A, of a 2x2 matrix. Now you'll notice that the determinant A will be denoted by writing DET of whatever the matrix name is, or you can use what we use like in the absolute value bars, put those bars around the capital letter of the name of your matrix. So whichever method you prefer, you just, you make that choice and continue to use it. Now, to find the determinant of a 2x2 matrix, what you will always do is take the difference of some products, okay? A and D are the elements here and here. You will multiply those two elements, you'll get an answer, and you will always subtract by the multiplication of the other diagonal product of elements. So you are multiplying A times D, getting an answer, and then you're subtracting the product of B times C. So let's use some examples that are found on page 64 of your text. So they gave us matrix A, for example. So I'm going to write out matrix A is equal to -1, 4, 5, and 20. I am going to find the determinant of A. So I will put a bar to show that I'm finding the determinant of A. And all you're going to do, again, is you are going to take the multiplication of that diagonal first, and order does matter. So start with the upper left-hand corner element. So we're going to do -1 times the 20, and then you will always subtract the multiplication of the other side, 5 times 4. Simplify, -20, the minus of our formula, 5 times 4 is 20, and you combine, and we get -40 for determinant A. Doing it one more time for just one more example. I'm going to skip and do the problem where it asks us to find the determinant of matrix C. So let me write that matrix out first. Element 7, -1, -7, and 4. So again, this is another square 2x2 matrix. I'm going to find the determinant of C. So I'm going to cross multiply. So start with the upper left, 7 times 4. So I'm showing my work, but I know a lot of you guys will probably do head math on that. Minus, and then I'm going to take the other cross multiplication. We'll do a different color, and that would be, open parentheses, -7, -1. So the only reason I'm showing all my work too is if you guys would please put parentheses around each element, you will watch and be more careful as to not making silly sign mistakes, okay? So 7 times 4 is a +28, minus -7 times -1 is a +7, and when I simplify, I get a 21, okay? So again, -40 was the answer for one of your exercise assessment problems, and 21 was the other one. Okay, So let us move on to a 3 by 3 matrix. Okay, and again, 2 by 2 and 3 by 3 are the only ones you need to worry about. We're not even worry is the wrong word, to make sure you know how to work out. So 3 by 3 matrix, 3 rows, 3 columns. So this is a lot of noise. That means something very, very simple. Okay, so you are basically going to do determinants 3 times. So here's your 3 by 3 matrix. Notice how the elements are all named. The first row is elements A1, A2, A3. Second row B1, B2, B3, and so forth. To find determinant A, what you're going to first focus on is taking this first element right here, A1. It's always going to be the top row, okay? That's A1, and notice that's this right here, okay? And I'm going to show you that all you do is use that element to kind of block out a row and a column. So that A1 uses this row and it uses this column, okay? So you are going to basically ignore what I highlighted in purple and focus on what's inside, and you are left with a 2 by 2 matrix, the B2, B3, C2, C3. So if you notice, that's what this is right here. That's what they're saying right here, okay? And what you're going to end up doing is doing the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix. The B2, C3, multiply those two numbers, that's right here. And then you're going to multiply the B3 and C2. That's the multiplication of those two numbers right here. So you're doing what we just finished doing in the previous page, okay? You're going to do a 2 by 2 matrix 3 times. So let's do this again. So I'm going to erase all of this just to prove a point. Now, when you get to the second element, okay, A2, what I need you to remember is that this second element you are going to subtract, okay? This element you are going to subtract. You're going to change the sign of whatever A2 is. So change the sign if you want to do it immediately, because when you multiply by a negative, you switch signs, okay? So you take that A2. What is the row that A2 shares? A2 is going to use the first row, and it's going to use the second column. So now you're blocking out that in purple, okay? And so what are you left with? You're left with B1, B3, C1, and C3. So B1, B1, B3, B3, and so forth. You're left with these, all right? That's where those came from. So you are going to cross multiply again, okay? So cross multiply with the ones that were left over. That's the B1, C3. That's right there. And the B3, C1. That's right there, okay? Ignore the purple. And now, last but not least, you go to the last element, A3. What is the row and column that it is asking you to block out? Well, notice you're always blocking out the first row. And so now you're blocking out that. So cross multiply B1, C2 minus B2, C1. All right. Okay. So let's see how this works with a particular problem. And we're going to do the first challenge problem together. You do the other one on your own. So they already gave us the 4, 0, 3 elements all in straight bar form. And when you see those straight bars, it's implying to go find the determinant, okay? So this bar was given to us, and this bar is given to us, okay? So they're saying, hey, go find the determinant. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. So I am going to look at this number and ignore that and that, right? Okay, so I'm going to put an equal sign. I write down the element I circled, and I'm going to multiply the 1 times the negative 1. That's negative 1. Whoops. Negative 1. Then I'm going to put a minus. You know what? I'm trying to think if I should show the work, but I think you guys are fast enough to go ahead and just write it out. If you want to show the work, I guess I should show the work. Let me just show the work just to be safe. All right, 4, we do 1 times negative 1, so we'll do 1 times negative 1 minus, and then the other one is going to be 2 times 1. So let's just play it safe. So that's the first one, right? So now we do it again. Now we're going to do, I'm going to do a different color. We're going to focus on this number, and we are going to cross out. This time we'll highlight it in green. We cross out the first row and the second row. Okay, so focus on that. Now, with that second term, we always put a minus. So I'm going to put a 0. Now we multiply 5 times negative 1, which is the first diagonal. So this first diagonal right here, 5 times negative 1, ignoring the green, and then minus, it's always minus, and we do the other diagonal, which is this one right here, 2 times negative 2. 2 times negative 2. Okay, so far are we okay? All right, last one. Let us use let's use a blue. We focus on the 3, and this time we're going to cross out the first row and the last column. So let's do that. So that's a positive 3, so we put plus 3, open parentheses. We have the 5 times 1, always upper left corner starts first, okay? 5 times 1 minus, and the other one is 1 times negative 2. Okay, so now that we've finished setting it all up, we are going to simplify. So I'm going to put the 4, 1 times negative 1, 2 times 1, and again, I know a lot of these you can just do it really quickly as far as head math, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it step by step so that we make sure we don't make any mistakes. Okay, so 1 times negative 1 is negative 1, 2 times 1 is 2, I put the minus in between, brought down the 0, 5 times negative 1 is negative 5, brought down the minus, 2 times negative 2 is negative 4, and the last 3 brought it down, 1 times 5 is 5, brought down the minus, and then 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. Simplifying one more time, that's going to be a negative 3, negative 5 plus 4, and so we just keep going, doing the basic arithmetic, and our answer for this particular problem is a 9. Okay, and that's it. That's all there is to finding determinants of a 2 by 2 and a 3 by 3. Thanks for watching.